So as a foster family, why do we actually need to get along with birth family? What's the point?
We want to get along with them because we want, I guess, constant reassuring messages to the kids, so that they're feeling supported, and they're definitely not feeling that they are stuck between birth family and foster family, because that must be an awful place to be. So if we can get along more and present a united front, I think that's got to be more reassuring for the foster child.
Well, it's been documented that it causes stress for a child who has to navigate the relationship between foster family and birth family. And I had a beautiful example of that. Do you remember there was a Christmas play, and the school had arranged it that the birth family member was going to go to a different iteration of that play in the morning, and I was in the afternoon, or vice versa. Anyway, we ended up going to the same one. I felt so much pain for the child who was on the stage, and I thought, what are they going to do at the end? Because after the play, there was a craft thing to do together. And I thought, oh no, what should I do? Should I move? Should I do something? I was just thinking through all these conundrums and ways to fix it. And a beautiful thing happened, that when the play finished, the child got off the stage and went to the birth family member, which is entirely appropriate, but then brought the birth family over to me. So we actually were together doing this craft at the table. So the child had actually healed the situation.
Because at that moment,
they were so young.
At that moment, you are both very important figures in that child's life.
Welcome to Fostering of Faith, and in this podcast episode, we're discussing getting on with bio or birth family. What do we do with all the stuff they give us? And have we been criticised by birth family? What we do about that? So please stay tuned. And if you like it, please feel free to subscribe. I did a bit of research last night. What is the percentage of children, foster children that come into care, do they actually make it back to birth family? So that's reunification. Yes, right, just guess percentage. You're not looking at my answers.
50%?
Yeah. But you'll be sad to hear that in 2020, it was 29%.
Wow.
And that's fallen 10%. This is in the UK. I think it was 39% in 2011. And it gets worse, unfortunately, because the stats show that after 5 years, if they're reunified, a third of those kids end up coming back into care.
A popular worry among foster carers or prospective foster carers would be being conflict with or criticised by the birth family. Have you got any experiences of that?
At family time, when you drop them off and you have to pick them up at the end, you may have a little discourse about they want certain bits of clothing, or if they're younger, care items, they prefer a different brand or a different play toy. I take that as an offence, but actually that's an easy win, because you're trying to build relationship with birth family. You got to see to have some trust. In terms of big criticisms like allegations and things about not caring for them properly, I haven't experienced that, but I know that some people have, and that can be very distressing.
It is about trying to put yourself in their shoes, and then when you have those handover moments where you're both there interacting with a child, just sensitivity around that area, and just trying to make it as comfortable as it can be for the birth parents, while still making sure that everything's safe and the child's happy.
Well, I've just done a video about child control and giving a little bit of control back to the foster child who's had most of it taken away. And the same goes to the birth parents, that they're trying to claw back their life, which is slightly fallen apart. They've lost their children, and to give them a little bit of control back about what their child wears, or what snacks they eat, or skin products, bath products, whatever it is, it goes a little way to allow them that control. Right, another worry of foster carers are family time and interactions with birth family, that you may get given loads of stuff, whether that's food, snacks, clothes, toys, loads of toys. How do you deal with things that are given to you by birth family?
In that moment, you've got to be really accepting of that and welcoming of that, and then it's really what you do with it. I think every situation is different, and when you're at home, there's a lot of sorting through the stuff to do. Unfortunately, you've got to say that there's a lot of washing of stuff that has to do, because you want the toys that the kids are playing with to be clean and to.
That's a difficult point, because
Yeah.
We've learned
Yeah.
not to stick things through the washing machine quickly because they
Yes.
smell of home.
That's right. Also, you can't have your house full of this stuff. You have to keep all this stuff. It's not your property, but
Yeah.
then just allow maybe a top 3 things that your foster child could take out of this bag that they'd want to have in their room now. And that could be a rotating thing. And you can put those back and get fresh ones out. There's different ways.
I was going to tell you some interesting things that I've received from
Yes.
family.
Yep.
They're really surprisingly gifts for our birth children at Christmas. This is from wider birth family. I was really surprised. I was really amazed, taken back, really. Time we've been given little mementos, keepsakes from actually birth parents, to say thank you, or cards or something. And that's been amazingly touching. That interaction and relationship with the birth family means so much.
Remember when there was a film night pack came back with one of our foster children from Family Time, and it had a little pack with sweets and with popcorn and stuff. And again, but there was one for all of our children,
And
our birth children as well.
That was so
popcorn
kind.
all packaged up together. So there's again, so we think it's all about us being sensitive as foster carers, but we've seen real sensitivity from some of the birth parents in trying to make sure that the stuff that they send home with their birth child into our house actually can be inclusive for our birth children as well.
Since we are a fostering faith channel, so we do believe in God and Jesus, what advice would you give to Christian foster carers of other things that we can do to help our relationships with birth and bio family?
So we're a household that prays. We're a household that, so we pray as a couple, we pray as individuals, we pray with our children, and that's something that our foster children are around. And given that we foster through a Christian agency, that's an expectation that's understood by all parties there. They sense something, and they want, I think, their birth family to be included for that. So we've had requests from quite little ones for us to pray for their birth parents, so you can understand that they can hear us praying for other people, and as part of that, they don't want their birth family left out.